Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I thought I would share with you all my baby's birth story. This is Esther. She is 2 weeks old and we're just vibing. A little background. I am one of 11 children and the youngest 7 my mum birthed at home. So she is super experienced with all things pregnancy and birth. And since we all live in the same house together, I decided to have her as part of my birth team. She's very knowledgeable and great support. So this was my 3rd time giving birth, and just to give you a little bit of background, with my first I had a home birth with a midwife present, and for my second I also had a home birth, but I felt led to have an unassisted birth. For those of you who don't know, an unassisted birth is where you don't have a midwife or a medical professional present at the birth. That pregnancy was also a wild pregnancy, which means I didn't have any checkups, I didn't have any scans or anything like that during the pregnancy. Doing that second pregnancy and birth outside of the medical system, because it wasn't necessary, it felt very empowering, and so I decided to do it again this pregnancy. Now that's not to say if I felt that something wasn't right that I wouldn't head straight to the hospital and get a scan or get the help I needed, because I definitely would. But I know our bodies were beautifully and wonderfully made and were designed to give birth. So I decided to educate myself on all things pregnancy and birth, what signs and symptoms to look out for, and when medical help might be needed. Okay, time to get into the birth story. In the actual lead up to labour and birth, with this being my 3rd pregnancy, I had a lot of Braxton Hicks contractions. Now, that wasn't the case with my other 2. With my first birth, I didn't have any niggles or anything like that before labour actually starting. And with my second, there was just one night, the night before I actually went into labour, where I had some practice contractions. But this time round, the closer I got to actually giving birth, the more I would have more practice contractions, and they would get a little bit stronger each day. It all started the night of January 4th. Around 11 p.m. I started having contractions every 10 to 15 minutes. They were uncomfortable but manageable. My husband and I were just watching TV and eating snacks and relaxing. We decided to go to bed and try and get some sleep, and the contractions were still coming every 10 to 15 minutes. I managed to sleep a little between contractions, but they were pretty uncomfortable, so they would wake me up. So I decided to get up, and I just spent the rest of the night wandering around the house, moving from room to room, trying to find some way to be comfortable but also rest, as I was pretty tired. Contractions for me feel best when I'm standing up. I find it really uncomfortable lying down through them, but because I was so tired, I did want to try and lie down or sit down and rest as much as I could. So I would sit down and watch TV or just lie down and close my eyes in bed, and when a contraction would come, I would have to jump up for it. Throughout the night, the contractions stayed consistently around 10 minutes apart, and they were pretty uncomfortable, but they weren't really progressing. But that all changed when I woke up to a strong contraction at 3:30 in the morning. There was a lot of pressure with this one, so I ran and headed straight for the bathroom, which when I'm in active labour is where I like to be. And sure enough, with this contraction, the waters broke and it all ramped up from there. I went and woke my husband and told him it was time to get the room ready and that I was going to be in the bathroom labouring and to stay close by. Now, the contractions very quickly ramped up and got a lot stronger with each contraction, but unlike my other labours, the contractions were quite far apart, or at least they felt like they weren't one on top of the other. From this point, I decided to jump in the shower. Now, with my other pregnancies, basically I know that I'm going through transition if I want the shower. So even though that the contractions were quite far apart, I knew we didn't have long to go. Sure enough, I started feeling pushy, so I got Ben to call my mum to come upstairs real quick, and we beelined it for the bedroom where I was wanting to give birth. We also woke the girls up as they wanted to be a part of the birth as well. I think in total I had 3 or 4 pushing contractions. I think there was 1 in the shower and 2 or maybe 3 here in the bedroom, which is the same as with my second. She came out with her hand up by her face and she shot out so fast. Props to my husband for catching her, because wow, she came out really fast. So yeah, she was born at 4:28 a.m. on the 5th of January. And also because we didn't have any scans or anything like that, we also didn't know whether she was going to be a boy or a girl. Obviously we would have been happy with either, but when we saw that she was a girl, we were just so excited to welcome another little girl into the world. Yeah, so once I gave birth, we just hopped into bed and I fed Esther and had some breakfast and took some painkillers. And after a while, when I started feeling crampy and Esther was all fed and happy, we cut the cord and I went and had a shower and delivered the placenta. And yeah, then we just spent the rest of the day resting and cuddling. And yeah, that's the birth story. It was just such a special and intimate thing to experience with my husband and my children and my mother there, welcoming my little girl into the world. I think the reason why early labour with this birth was so long was purely just because my baby had to get into the right position. So my body and my baby were working really hard just to get into the right position for birth to happen. Things that help me most when I'm in labour is just relaxing. Focus on relaxing your whole body and just breathing as well. Bridget Tyler from Built to Birth here on YouTube has some great resources on her channel. Learning how to breathe properly in labour has been really helpful to me. The closer I get to giving birth, to help get myself in the zone, I like to listen to positive natural birth stories. Specifically, I like to listen to Pain-Free Birth. They have a bunch of wonderful birth stories here on YouTube that you can go check out. They are just so inspiring. But yeah, that was Esther's birth. I hope this birth story encourages you and inspires you. And yeah, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Ooh. Why did it jump so close? Oh, it's on filming mode, that's why.